Hello everyone and welcome to Butterflies, Pinwheels, and Wallpaper 3.2 and 3.3. Yes, this recording will cover both 3.2 and 3.3. Our learning target for these two problems are I will develop rules for rotation and translation on a coordinate grid or a graph and be able to use the rules to transform a shape. Our aces for 3.2 are 4, 5, 9, 18 through 19. Those will be due on Thursday. And then for 3-3, 6, 7, 21, and 22, which will be due on Friday. So yesterday we developed some rules of reflection, and that if we start out with an XY coordinate and we reflect that over the x-axis, we will wind up having the same x, but our y will change sign. Also, if we flip it over the y-axis, the reflection is that our x will change sign and our y coordinate will remain the same. Finally, we found that if we reflect over the line of y equals x, that our y and our x will change places. So those are our rules of reflection that we came up with yesterday. Today we're going to start out with rules for translations. And they give us the mugs, mug 1, mug 2, mug 3, and mug 4. And I'm just going to show you fairly quickly with mug 1 how we look at this. Now, they give you a table, and I encourage you to fill out this table to get the idea. But let's just take point A here, where for coordinate of mug 1, we are -5, -7. And coordinate for point A of mug 2 is 3, -5. Well, you can see if you take the difference of these, that the difference between mug 1 and mug 2 for the x-coordinate is 8. So if we go back and look, we can count over from point A of mug 1 and go 8 to the right. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here we are, 8 right underneath mug 2 where point A would be. Okay, so that's the, wrong way. That's the math there. If we look at the y coordinate, we're -7 to -5. That's a difference of 2. We're going upwards with that. And if we start here on point A, we go up 1, 2, and we look across, and sure enough, there it is for point A. So when you're drawing your rules for this, you're going to be looking at something like, let me see if I can type here for you, that if we go from X, Y, what we want to go to then would be X plus 8, Y, Y plus 2. Okay, and that would be our rule for getting coordinates from mug 1 to mug 2. And so then you could use this rule for each of the other points B, C, D, E, and F, and you should be able to plot them on your grid and wind up where mug 2 is. Obviously, you're going to have a different set of rules for mug 3 and mug 4, but that's what you need to go and make an effort to find out. So that's all there is to translation or sliding. It's just like if we just grabbed this mug, just grabbed it and drug it with us or slid it across and translated it to a different position. We have not changed the size of it. We've not changed any rotation of it. We just grabbed it and put it in a different coordinate. So that's translation. You can work through each of the problems for the mugs, part A, part B, C, D. Need to think about a little bit of what's going on here. And then part E is asking us to come up with another rule if we move them any A units horizontally and B units vertically. So come up with a rule for that as well. That's it for translation. Not too steep for you. Now we're going to jump into uh, Butterflies, Pinwheels, and Wallpaper 3.3. Learning target here, develop rules for rotation on a coordinate grid and learn to use them to rotate a shape. Review of the rules we've already come up with. Reflection, over the x-axis, our x stays the same, y changes sign. Over the y-axis, the x changes sign and y stays the same. And over the line of y equals x, then y and x change position for their coordinate. translation, we found out that we're going to wind up with x plus a and then y plus b for any other position from our original position on a coordinate grid. BPW 3.3, beginning on page 63, 6, 7, 21, and 22. So what we're going to do now with 3.3 is we're going to spin or rotate on a coordinate. So we're going to rotate from this quadrant over to this quadrant down here and over there. So we're going to get into all four quadrants. And it asks you what coordinate rules for rotations would rotate the flag 90 degrees or 180 degrees counterclockwise about point A. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Ignore directions. This is what you should do. Okay? We're going to draw shapes and write rules after a 90 degree, 180 degree, and 270 degree rotation about point A. Point A is right down here at 0, 0. So if we take a look for rotations, if we just find a point along our line, and the first point where we can definitely find is right here, and we look at our slope, and it's 2 over 1, rise over run. We go up 2, and we go over 1. Okay, so 1, 2, 1. We're rise over run of 2. If we rotate 90 degrees, and we apply a little bit of some of the rules we've already come up with and think about our rotation, that if we flip our rise over run and change the sign of our run, that we can then graph the same points. So instead of 2 over 1, now we're 1 over 2, and we change the sign of the x. So now we're over 2 and up 1, and you put a point on there. We can find another point out here that is 2, 4, or our rise over run is 4 over 2. So now we can go negative 4 and 2. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 2. And we just keep doing that and plotting our lines. So we're gonna do the inverse of our rise over run, and we're gonna change the sign of our x coordinate. So work on that. See if we can come up with rules there. Then we're going to rotate it another 90 degrees down here. Think about the rules we have. Use your rise over run again. Changing signs is necessary to get your flag drawn down here. And then rotate it another 90 degrees and see if we can get our flag drawn down here and come up with rules for each and every one of those. So that's all there is to it. Again, ACES 6, 7, 21, and 22. I look forward to your questions and comments in class.